completely forgot to put this in the review, so I'm gonna put it now. This part of the game sucked. It was terrible. I don't even see the point in the minigame. It was trash. It was trash. I hate it. Alright guys, this is Heather here. I am making a Far Harbor DLC review. It's the DLC for Fallout 4, if you don't know what that is. I am probably way late on doing a review on this thing. I don't think anybody even cares anymore, but I'm reviewing it anyway because I just got it recently, and because I can't afford these AAA games. So I wasn't able to get it until recently, and I did a playthrough, and I really, really liked it, actually. I actually don't really like Fallout 4. I know that's blasphemy, but I just thought compared to, because New Vegas is my favorite one, and it was just disappointing in comparison to New Vegas, but I'm sure you've all heard the arguments already about why people don't like Fallout 4, but I was one of those people, because I kind of liked the old-fashioned Fallouts, where you had, like, one way of doing things, and charisma and stuff mattered, and so yeah, I wasn't prepared to like the DLC, but I actually did. I liked it quite a bit. I give it a big recommendation. If you liked Fallout or Fallout 4, it was a little bit more like New Vegas than the Fallout 4 main game. It had a lot more dealing with, like, charisma actually kind of mattered in the DLC. Intelligence actually kind of mattered in the DLC, which I enjoyed because I didn't like that about the original. The story was okay. It wasn't the, I always forget what the DLC is called. I always call it the Big Empty, and I was gonna look it up before I started recording, but I forgot, and here we are. My favorite story is the Big MD. That's my favorite DLC of the New Vegas. I don't really like any of the other DLCs, but I really like that one. It's actually one of my favorite games in general, is the Big MT. It didn't age well. I'll tell you now, if you replay it now, it doesn't, it's not all that great, but at the time, it was really awesome and interesting, and, like, the graphics, like, it was really spooky. Like, there's this part of the DLC where you had to go to these robots' house, and it was really scary, and like it was really spooky at the time, and now it just looks like garbage, but at that time it was scary, and I really got into that DLC, and it was hard as crap, but it was very, very difficult, but it was like such a cool, interesting idea. And the story of this DLC didn't really get anywhere close. I mean, it was an interesting idea. I don't really want to say what it all is because I feel like I don't want to do spoiler. And maybe I'll do like a spoiler section, but I don't want to get really into the story too much. But it's interesting. It's kind of like some of the arcs, and Dima was a good character. I didn't go too cliche. They kind of went cliche. So the story was okay. Like but the big points of the DLC that I really liked was just like the exploration, like the different settings. It's beautiful. Like a lot of the landscapes are very beautifully done, very well designed. My favorite place is probably the day spa. That was a very cool area to go to. You get like a bathrobe when you're there. So that was probably the best part, just exploring, like looking at different things, and then like, you know, doing different people's missions and all that. So it was a thoroughly enjoyable gameplay experience. And I think as a gameplay experience, I overall liked it more than the Big MT. But like the Big MT's story was better, but the gameplay and overall DLC experience was actually better in Far Harbor. Which is a huge compliment, and which means I really did like it. My main complaint with it is just that I do wish that in certain areas there was just a little bit more. Like, I felt like they did a lot with Dima, and a lot with his arc, and his art with Acadia, a place called, like, Acadia. Try not to spoil anything. I fear if I say too much, I'm spoiling it. I feel like they did a lot with that arc when you play it, and, like, that was really cool. And then with Far Harbor itself, I felt like that was pretty thorough. But with Child of Adam, like, Child of Adam appears in this, and their group, just like, there wasn't a whole lot of missions with them. there wasn't a whole lot of backstory with them, and I kind of wanted a little bit more Child of Adam. I think it's because I see them a lot in the other games, and including the original, Fallout 4. I just want to know more about them. So I would like to see more missions of just Child of Adam and really get into it, really get to the nitty gritty, and go into the characters and stuff, because I think it's fascinating and interesting and an interesting concept. So I don't know. So my main criticism is just like a little bit more to it. But that's not like a bad criticism, because that means that I really liked it, and it is a $20 DLCs. But I guess what it is like with the Big MT, that felt like, even though like a lot of it was repetitive, it felt like a complete experience. Like when I was done playing it, I felt like, okay, I've done everything I can do with these characters, and I don't think it could get pushed any more than it already was pushed. I mean, it could have. There was like a couple things they could have done, but for the most part, it felt like that was a really complete DLC. With this, it felt like a couple of story points were left not really going into, and like a couple, like not fully realizing like all the aspects that they introduced to the DLC. So yeah, that was my only thing. It's like just a little bit more, which I think they sacrificed that for this exploration, which I think makes sense, because that was the problem with the Big MT, is that it was like, it's such a cool idea, but then like exploring was just like, like exploring the map was just like really tough, because there's a lot of the monsters were like just kind of the same, and it was unbelievably hard, and like they could have done more with like the lobotomites. Like the lobotomites are like people they took the brains out, like they're human beings that they took brains out of. They could have done like more with that, like, so I kind of get it, but I don't know, like, yeah. But other than that, yeah, I just give it like a big thumbs up. I mean, if you're considering getting it, I would say get it. I mostly got it because I thought Nick Valentine was gonna be like really sexy in this, and it wasn't him, it was his brother. So I misunderstood because they looked the same. Maybe he was supposed to become like Dima, but then they changed their mind and they were like, let's just make it his brother. I don't know. I was disappointed by that, but that's fine. Dima's still hot, so it's fine. And I guess for spoiler, I don't have much to say about the spoilers section. It's just that I felt like they could have said a lot more about the fog. I felt like they could have said a lot more with Kasumi, because like that she was the whole reason why you went to the island in the first place, and they didn't do a whole lot with her. You did like talk to her like twice, and that was about it. Again, Child of Adam, like I would have liked to have done more missions with like Zealot or something. Just something more, like, because it's just, I don't know, it just felt so, especially since I thought it was just so interesting. Like I thought the High Confessor was interesting. I also thought the idea of Mitch was really interesting, and so I would like to see more of that backstory of Mitch. Just stuff like that. But again, those aren't like harsh criticisms. It's just, I liked it. I want to see more of it. So I guess that'll be it for the review. I don't think, not a whole lot more to say. It was a nice little DLC. I enjoyed playing it. I found it very entertaining. And I'll see you guys later. Thank you for showing up. Hello guys, if you like this video, please consider checking out my game Vacant. It's free right now off of itch.io in early access. I would really love to hear you guys' feedback and comments and all that jazz. The link will be in the description if you want to see more.